Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Wesley, and in this video I'm going to be going over and showing you guys a collection that I've had for a while but just recently picked up. So if you want to hear the story and some of the books, let's get into it. So about last summer, my dad was moving out of his apartment and he realized he couldn't keep his childhood comic book collection anymore. So he was going to try and sell it at one of the local comic shops, but I had just started getting into the hobby at this point and told him that he probably would get lowballed on the collection and what it truly was worth. So he should try selling it like online or individually, but just not to a shop. But he didn't want to go through all that trouble because he just wanted to get rid of it quickly because he didn't have any room to keep it. So he gave it to me, and we made a deal to that I would sell some of it, and we would split the profits on it. So after the next couple months, I sold some of the books, which I now actually regret selling and kind of wish I kept. But what was left, I ended up buying outright from my dad, and it's now part of my personal collection. So this video, I'm going to be showing you guys what's in there. It's a lot of 90s stuff because that's when my dad grew up, and lots of Batman because that was his favorite character. There isn't any really like big standout keys or more expensive issues in this collection. I just really got it because I like these books and they're my dad's, so I kind of want to keep them in my collection. So let's go through them. So first up, he had a nice run of the main Batman title around the 550 mark, but I actually ended up selling some of those off, so I only got a couple issues from the main Batman run as well as Detective Comics. So here we have 546. I really like that cover. 552. And Batman Annual 21. And with a lot of these annuals from this year, I think it was not from 1997, they did this like Pulp Fiction kind of throwback to like old pulp magazines on all of the covers. So I think that's really cool. Here we have Detective Comics 707, 709, and 712. Then we have Annual 10, which is another one of those pulp cover looking ones. Then we have Vengeance of Bane 2, The Redemption, which is a 60-page special issue, which kind of goes along with that Vengeance of Bane Nightfall kind of era storyline. Now, this was a well-read copy. There's 3 big spine ticks you can see there. But that'll be cool to add to the collection because I have a near mint of the first Vengeance of Bane, which I'm hopefully going to be getting graded soon. And then this is a really cool one because this is Batman Word to the Wise, which, if you guys don't know, I live in Canada, and one of the grocery stores, at least, I think they've gone out of business now, actually, but Zellers, back in the 90s, they did this special book where it was to promote reading to kids, and that's kind of the story behind this special one-shot issue thing. So I thought that was pretty cool. And then we've got some of the various Batman titles from that era in the 90s. So we've got the Batman Chronicles, issue 6, with Ra's al Ghul on the cover, I believe. Issue 8. And issue 9, which is a really cool like movie poster one. Issue 10. And then issue 11, which is like an Elseworld story. And it really reminds me of the Robin King from the recent Dark Knight's Death Metal storyline. And then also Batman Chronicles The Gauntlet, which is a special square-bound issue where Tim Drake Robin proves himself that he can be Robin. So that's pretty cool. So next up we have a nice run of Batman Legends of the Dark Knight. So here we have the orange cover for issue 1, issue 2, issue 3, and these are the Shaman storyline. I really like how the Dark Knights, they have the storylines titles down on the bottom. Here's issue 4. And these are some really cool covers too. Issue 5. issue 6, issue 7, and then we jump to issue 19, which is a really cool cover with the shark, and is part of the original storyline that the drug Venom is introduced, which later is used for Bane. Then we jump to issue 90, 93, 94, 95, 96. And these are all really cool covers that I'm not sure who the artist is, but I really like them. As issue 97, 98, 99, and then issue 100 with this really awesome Alex Ross cover, which is really cool. Then we have 101, 102, and then end it with 104. Then we have a couple annuals. So we have Legends of the Dark Knight, Annual 1. This is really cool with Batman with that sword there. Annual 2. And then Annual 7, another one of the pulp covers, which is really cool with the dogfight. Now, for the last of the Batman titles, we have Batman Shadow of the Bat. So here we start with issue 60. And it's a nice solid run from here on out. So issue 62, 63. And these are all really awesome covers. I haven't read these yet, but I plan on doing that at some point. 65, 66, 67. Yeah, they look all painted, or at least some of them do. It's 68. I really like this cover with the Skull Batman on issue 69. Here's issue 70. 71. 72. And 73, which is part of the Cataclysm. I guess it was kind of a crossover they did. I have a couple more issues from that. And Shadow of the Bat, Annual 5. So now we're going to get into some of Batman's supporting characters. So first up, we have the Robin title, which there's a huge stack of these. I think my dad really enjoyed this, and I plan on reading all these issues later at some point. So first off, we have 2 copies of Robin 1 of the first miniseries. There's one more of a reader copy, and then another one which is super crispy and near mint, so I might actually end up getting it graded. I'm not sure yet, maybe in a pre-screen. Here's 2 copies of issue 2, 2 copies of issue 3, issue 4, and issue 5. And I believe this series is about Tim Drake traveling around the world and being trained in martial arts by the same people that trained Bruce Wayne originally, I believe. I haven't read it, but I do plan on at some point. And then Robin 2, The Joker's Wild, issue 1. And then here's the holographic variants for issue 2, issue 3, issue 4. And then we get into the main Robin series of the ongoing title with issue 3, issue 5, issue 6. Then we jump to issue 10. And these are all Chuck Dixon stories, because he was writing a lot of stuff for Batman at this point, and I really liked his work on Nightfall, so I'm sure I'm going to enjoy these when I get around to reading them. Issue 15, 16, 17, issue 18, 19. This one's really cool with Robin fighting the Gladiator. Here's issue 20, 21, and then we jump to 39, 40, 42, with Robin beating up like the kids mascot there, 43, 44, 45, 46. I like this cover because it's just that solid white. It looks really good and it's nice and clean. Here's 49. Here's issue 50. 51. Then we end on issue 52, which is part of the Cataclysm storyline. And then Robin Annual 6, which is another really cool like pulp western cover. So now we move on to the Nightwing title from the 90s, which I actually really wanted to read a bit more on Nightwing and kind of learn more about his character. So I went through and read these a couple weeks ago, and I read some of the missing issues that I didn't have online. But I read these ones with the first 1 through 20, and I actually really enjoyed it because it covers Nightwing moving away from Gotham and breaking off from Bruce Wayne and moving to Bloodhaven, which is kind of like a little city district outside of Gotham, which he decides he wants to clean up himself and prove that he can be a hero on his own without the help of Batman. So here we have issue 3, issue 4, issue 7. This was also written by Chuck Dixon, which I really enjoyed, with some awesome art by McNeil. Issue 8, issue 9, issue 10. Really like this cover with Nightwing tripping out on Scarecrow gas. It's issue 11, issue 12, issue 13, 14, and on 15 there's this cool like close-up headshot cover. Issue 16, 17, 18, and then lastly is 19, which is also part of that Cataclysm story. And then Nightwing Annual 1, which is another one of the pulp magazine ones. So now we have some random Batman issues that are kind of just either one-shots or just one from that run. So here we have Batman Shadow of the Bat, number 1, which is the first appearance of Victor Zsasz, actually. And it has the full collector's set with the maps of Arkham and some of the other stuff that came with that, which is really cool. Then we have issue 1 and 2 of Batman Aliens. You also had Batman vs. Predator, which I wish I kept, but I actually sold it. But, you know, I'll probably be able to find it somewhere else at some point in the future, so it's not too bad. These are some really cool covers by Bernie Wrightson. Then we have Predator 2, issue 1, which is the comic adaptation of the movie. Then we have Real Heroes, which I guess is like a Pizza Hut promotional book, which then it came with like a card. Adventures of Superman, 509. Superman Man of Steel, 18, which is the first full appearance of Doomsday. Although this is kind of a beat up copy, one of the staples is missing. Superman 22, the collector's cover with the cutout. And this is really cool. I like this cover, Superman 123, which is the first appearance of the electric blue Superman. And this is actually glow in the dark. The white parts on his costume are glow in the dark parts. And this is really clean too, and the straight black cover just really looks awesome. Superman Man of Steel Annual 2, part of the Bloodlines. Then I thought these were really interesting. They're really beat up and destroyed, but French issues of Superman. So we have 117, 124, and 136. So those are really cool. I'm not sure where if they're from, like France or maybe Quebec. I'm not sure, but those are really cool French versions of Superman. So now we get into the little bit of Marvel that my dad collected. He really liked all the symbiote stuff with Venom and Carnage. So first up we have Spider-Man Carnage trade paperback from 93 from 93. So this collects the first storyline of Carnage in issues 361, 62, and 63. Web of Spider-Man, number 90, that foil cover. Along Came a Spider, number 1. Venom, Sinner Takes All, issue 1. And issue 2, which is the first cameo of She-Venom. Now, if only he had issue 3, which is the first full appearance, that's a pretty pricey issue, but it's all good and still some really cool books. And lastly, we have some issues of Transformers, because my dad was a huge Transformers fan of the original G1 TV show, and I remember watching it with him when I was growing up, and the movie from the 80s, and so these books I really like. So we have issue 40, issue 60, 63, 70, 71, I really like that cover, 75 with Unicron, that's awesome. And then Transformers Generation 2, issue 1, and issue 2. So those last couple issues of the Transformers run are really hard and scarce to find because they were low printed. So they go for about 20 to 30 bucks each. But these copies are really beat up. As you can see, they're just covered in spine ticks, which I'm fine with because my dad told me like he would bring them with him to school in his backpack and he'd read them at lunch. So these books have been well loved and read, so I'm fine with them being so beat up, and they're books that will never leave my collection because they just have that extra meaning to them. So, I know this was a longer video of me just showing books, kind of pulling a Sparks, but if you guys enjoyed, please leave a like and leave a comment down below, and please subscribe to the channel. We've got some big plans coming up, so you don't want to miss that and everything we're putting out. So, see you guys later.